What is the oddest thing you thought was normal and ended up being a medical problem? I was always the kid with skinned knees, purple bruises covering my arms, and band-aids scattered across my fingers like confetti. Every single day, I'd come home looking like I'd been in a fight with concrete and lost. My mom would just shake her head and tell anyone who asked, "She's my little tornado, always falling over herself." Teachers at school figured I was just hyperactive. My friends would joke that I must bruise if someone looked at me wrong. Even the school nurse knew me by name and kept extra ice packs ready whenever I walked through her door. By the time I turned 13, I started noticing something weird. I didn't just bruise easily. I bled way more than everyone else. A simple paper cut would take 10 whole minutes to stop bleeding. My nosebleeds would last up to an hour, blood just pouring down my face while I held tissue after tissue to my nose. During soccer practice, I got a small cut on my shin from someone's cleats. Nothing major, barely hurt, but the bleeding soaked through my sock completely, then soaked through the second sock I put over it. Coach had to stop practice because I was leaving blood drops all over the field. Every adult I told just brushed it off. "Some people just bleed more," my pediatrician said during my yearly checkup. "It's probably nothing to worry about." Then came 8th grade PE class. We were playing dodgeball, which I normally loved because I was fast enough to avoid most throws. But this time, Jake threw the ball as hard as he could and nailed me right in the ribs. I collapsed immediately. The pain was unlike anything I'd ever felt before. My skin started puffing up into this dark, sickly bruise that spread across my entire side like spilled ink. It was the size of a dinner plate and getting bigger by the minute. I couldn't breathe without stabbing pain shooting through my chest. Coach tried to help me stand up, but I just crumpled back down. They called an ambulance. At the emergency room, the doctors took one look at my massive bruise and started running tests immediately. The x-rays showed I had internal bleeding from what should have been minor trauma. Blood was pooling inside my chest cavity. They ran blood test after blood test. Finally, after hours of waiting, the doctor came back with results that changed everything. I had something called a platelet function disorder. Basically, my blood couldn't clot properly because of a rare genetic defect. For 13 years, I'd been living one bad fall away from a medical emergency. Every skinned knee could have been dangerous. Every nosebleed could have put me in the hospital. But here's the part that still makes my stomach twist. After the diagnosis, my mom broke down crying in the hospital hallway. Through her tears, she admitted something that shocked me. She'd known this might happen. My uncle, her brother, had died from a similar bleeding disorder when he was 19. She'd known there was a chance I could have inherited it, but she chose not to get me tested. "I didn't want to scare you," she sobbed. "I thought maybe you would grow out of the clumsy phase. I thought if I ignored it, maybe it wouldn't be real." Her brother had bled to death from a simple car accident that should have been survivable. She'd watched her parents blame themselves for not knowing sooner. And instead of learning from that tragedy, she'd decided to gamble with my life. I spent the next few weeks learning to live in a completely different world. I had to carry special clotting medication everywhere I went. I wore medical alert bracelets that felt heavy and foreign on my wrists. I learned first aid techniques specifically for controlling my own bleeding. Some of my favorite activities were suddenly off limits. No more soccer, no more climbing trees, no more bicycle rides without full protective gear. My friends didn't really understand why I couldn't do the things we used to do together, but for the first time in my life, everything finally made sense. I wasn't clumsy or cursed with bad luck. I had a medical condition that had been putting me in danger every single day, and now I could actually do something about it.